Secondary tip, Ledlam wins it back to Sakota, and Harvard gets the opening possession here. Start of a mini 2-game homestand for the Crimson. Holy Cross today, and Howard coming in on Tuesday before the Crimson make a post-holiday trip out to Lawrence, Kansas. Ledlam lost it on the way up, then lost it for good. Montgomery with a steal, tried to get it quickly up ahead. Kyrell Luke gathers, and he's hammered by Sakota on his way to the rim.
Yeah, good job getting out in transition for Holy Cross. Harvard usually the team that steals the ball, but it's Holy Cross forcing the turnover early. One interesting note on the other end, though, Ben, Holy Cross is going with the guy at the line right now, Kyrell Luke, on catching. So you were touching on earlier, that's 5'11", maybe, against 6'6", 6'7". But they want their bigger, stronger players on Kirkwood and Ledlam for Harvard.
Luke, explosive guard. He's come out strong in his first year with the Crusaders. A Dorchester native, staying in his home state, sinks 1 of 2 at the line to put Holy Cross in front. They're going to provide some full court pressure as well. Trey 2 there to help out Sakota. Catchins will set the ball, screen, Sakota goes away from it. Rotated all the way around, Ledlam fakes the 3, spins, dives inside, wanted the extra pass. Catchings will save it, 5 to shoot. Sakota drive, floater over Gates, won't go, and Gates collects the miss.
I thought on that initial drive by Ledlam, he had an opening to take the ball right to the rim. I don't think he expected to be so open.
Offensive foul. It's going to go against Humphrey, setting the ball screen. His first team foul on the Crusaders. Interesting decision here by Holy Cross to extend some pressure, maybe try to force some quick turnovers, hoping that Harvard's a bit rusty after the layoff.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, Holy Cross is a team that forces nearly 17 turnovers a game, and now make it another turnover for Harvard. And look, you don't always see what you expect coming out of these long breaks, as you see that ball going off Catchings. There was no foul. It was just off him as he was laying out of bounds. But these week to 2 week breaks give coaches time to work on things. So maybe that's something that Brett Nelson implemented during the time off for his team.
Always that opportunity for coaches to really dig in the practice court. Maybe install some new things both sides of the floor. Luke throws it away. There's Kirkwood, the Ivy League leader in steals, coming up with another.
Kirkwood just has such great hands. He had a 7-steal game earlier this season against Iona. He's in the top 10 in almost every category in this league.
Trey 2 splits the double team, can't finish. Ledlam took it to the floor, had it stripped out of bounds. It'll stay with Harvard. Tough start for the Crimson. Holy Cross doing a good job trying to shut down the driving lanes, and they're contesting everything at the rim.
Yeah, Harvard has had trouble at the starts of games this year. They've had multiple 16-point comebacks to win this year, which means you've started slow, and this is kind of the same situation. Harvard was down 9 in the second half last game against Babson as well.
Kirkwood stopped on the first, stopped on the second, but that's where he draws a foul. Almost a 5-second violation, and Humphrey picks up a quick second, so that's going to force Brett Nelson to dive into his bench early on. Caleb Kenny, the freshman out of Richmond, Virginia, will come to get Humphrey, presumably. Kirkwood, one of the best in the Ivy League at the line, 89% from the free throw line this year, and that's just been one of the many facets of his game that he has steadily improved on over the course of his career.
Yeah, he really has, and this is a guy who has nowhere to go but up with his ceiling. It was unfortunate, obviously, for everybody to miss that season a year ago, but especially for Noah, because he goes from the Rookie of the Year in the league to first team All-Ivy, and then who knows what he could have done last year. And we both, I think, believe that he has a strong case, and he will have a strong case to be the player of the year in the league this year.
Yeah, maybe the biggest competition will come from internally, as Ledlam's putting together a pretty good resume himself. Here's Gates' first touch inside, crashes into Ledlam, gets him up in the air, but Ledlam gets the shot. knocked it out of bounds, and it'll stay with Holy Cross.
I think that's the matchup of the game to watch. Ledlum against Gates. They're both 6'6", but play much bigger than that. Ledlum, Ivy League leader in rebounds, almost 9 a game. Gates gets 8 rebounds a game, led the Patriot League in offensive rebounds last year. They kind of both remind you of a Kenneth Fareed type. Remember when he led the country in rebounding for Morehead State at 6'6" a couple of years ago? Maybe more than a couple at this point, but they're those small college players who are so physical.
Ledlum again crashing to the basket, draws a foul. This one goes against Gates. That's his first. So Ledlum gives it back to him on the other end, and he'll have an opportunity at the free throw line.
Good hard attack by Ledlum. Gets right around Gates, and that's the difference, right? Gates has about 20 pounds on Ledlum, so he is stronger, but Chris Ledlum is a little more athletic and can get to the basket off the dribble a little bit more than Gates can.
Gates really the lone sort of voice of experience in this Holy Cross rotation. A senior from Charlotte, played his first 2 years at the University of New Orleans. Former Southland Rookie of the Year with UNO. Played very well in his first year for the Crusaders last year as part of the Patriot League preseason team this year. Martindale, great off the ball cut, and he's able to lay it in over the top of Kirkwood.
Martindale, normally somebody you can't lose sight of from behind the arc, but that time, as you said, the good backdoor cut. He's a really good three-point shooter, so he just cherry on top of the sundae when he goes inside.
Speaking of good three-point shooters, there's the first of the day for Kirkwood. Each team finally with their first field goal. Took over 3 minutes before it comes. And Kirkwood puts Harvard back on top with that three. Montgomery from straight on. Wide to the right, Catchings pulls it in. Kirkwood spins into the lane, to the corner, extra pass, another. Ledlum off the mark, but Kirkwood with the offensive rebound. Kirkwood wants it in the post. They finally get it to him as he squares on Gates. Cross court, Sakota steps into a three and buries it.
I would count 4 times on that possession where somebody could have taken a shot and passed it up for a better one for Harvard. You love to see that.
Lost out of bounds. It will go back over to Harvard as another turnover by the Crusaders. Luke just lost it that time. And yeah, beautiful ball movement on that possession by the Crimson. Here's Trey 2, nifty behind the back dribble. The jump stop doesn't get the bounce though. Catchings with an offensive board, lost it. Trey 2 inside, rolls it back out. More bonus possession for Harvard, but then Kirkwood is
Cross can schedule, you limit travel, and you can create some mini out-of-conference rivalries, which always, brings some juice to these matchups when you get into the portion of the schedule where students are not on campus.
Maybe not surprising. Both teams a little sluggish out of the gate. Holy Cross 1 for 3. They've turned the ball over a handful of times. Harvard just 2 for 8, even with a number of extra possessions off offensive rebounds. And both teams coming off fairly long breaks. Here's an offensive opportunity here on the putback. Caleb Kenny delivers.
In that first 4.5 minutes, Harvard had 4 offensive rebounds. So Holy Cross giving the Crimson a little taste of their own medicine.
Nice cut from Sakota as he lays it up and in.
You almost want to call that big to small passing, but Catchings and Sakota really not that different in height. And as you've talked about, Ben, with Harvard having so many injuries to its post players, Harvard ends up in a situation where everybody can shoot and everybody can pass on the court.
It's a very amorphous 5 that Tommy Amaker can put out there throughout the game. Nice job taking the contact and finishing. Bo Montgomery able to hang, the Tennessee native. Gets Holy Cross back within 4. Kirkwood off the ball screen. Tried to kick it back out. Luke read it. Trey 2 saved it. Spots up for a 3. Took some contact on the other end. The rebound pulled in by Luth Koulibaly, and Holy Cross trying to run. Martindale feeds it inside, and Koulibaly easily turns into the layup.
That all came off the shot fake from Martindale, who's a 40% three-point shooter. Such a threat from out there that the shot fake, got his defender in the air, and it turns into a wide-open layup. Again, good decision on a pass. Seen a lot of that today.
Quick little 6-2 spurt from the Crusaders. Catchings finds a wide open Silverstein under the hoop, but he missed the layup. He will get a foul, though. Sam Silverstein, the sophomore out of Illinois, found himself wide open underneath, and Montgomery came over late to commit the foul.
Yeah, beautiful pass. And Silverstein, a guy who's given Harvard, I should say, some pretty good minutes this year. Makes a nice move. He's very long, very athletic, and he can knock it down from this spot or from behind the three-point line, as, of course, he misses, right as I said that.
Had been 9 of 12 from the free throw line this year. We'll also get our first look now at Louis Lesmond and Josh Hemmings. 6'9" sophomore Hemmings from Toronto. He's only played in 3 of the 10 games this year, but talked to some of the Harvard folks beforehand. They are interested to see more of Hemmings just because of the size and the strength, what they think he might be able to provide.
Yeah, he really could be an X factor for this team because, look, we said it earlier, it was not hyperbole. Literally every single post player for Harvard was hurt at the start of the season. A lot of them still are. You can see all the crimson polos over there on the sideline. Those are guys who aren't dressed for the game. So if any post player can come back healthy and give Harvard good minutes, that's going to be huge for Tommy Amaker. The first one back is Hemmings. And look, you can see it. He's got the body to be a really good college player.
Trey 2 caught in a switch here with Koulibaly, trying to work him inside. He opts for the fadeaway off the side of the backboard. Silverstein, long kick out. Lesmond spot up from the free throw line, off the backboard and out. Silverstein trying to save it. Luke throws it off him and out of bounds. They love the hustle from both these teams after every loose ball.
Yeah, maybe they've been a little sluggish shooting the ball, as you said, but certainly not with the effort. This is a Holy Cross team that, needs some sort of spark going into Patriot League play. They don't have a win yet against a Division I opponent. So Brent Nelson's group is super motivated today, and Harvard would really like to continue to play well on its home court, which they've done all year. As you said, only one more home game and then the trip to play at Fog Allen Fieldhouse before Ivy League play starts. So there's a lot on the line today, not just a win, but two teams that have a lot to work on before the conference season starts.
They say Montgomery stepped out of bounds, so that's yet another turnover for Holy Cross, their 5th already. Ledlam going to come back in, replace Trey 2. It's almost an entire group of backups on the floor right now for Amaker. Ledlam, the only starter out there with Denham Wojcik, Lesmond, Silverstein, and Hemmings.
And this is kind of what we were discussing at the beginning of the broadcast. I don't think this is really a unit we'll see much together in a couple weeks when Ivy League play starts, but Tommy Amaker is still trying to figure out what he has in his group.
You mentioned 5-1 at home this year. They start 3 in a row at home in Ivy League play. Good run by Ledlam. He's able to tiptoe the line and save it through 4 Crusaders. He muscles it up and in. Flex it out, Chris Ledlam.
My goodness, I mean, he made a nice move initially to get himself a pretty open layup, and he missed it, and I guess he just did it because he wanted the chance at the extra point. Loose ball on the deck, as you see 4 in there, probably 3 or 4 reach-ins that didn't get called, and he goes up through everyone and able to finish.
So they don't add any extra points for degree of difficulty. But Ledlam, even though he sometimes makes it harder on himself, still finds a way to convert. That stops the mini Holy Cross run, puts Harvard back up 6. 12:20 to go in the first half.
And we've talked about all the, injuries or whatever it might be for Harvard. There's some more good passes he's developed, and a young coach, to say the least, still trying to build something here. Very young team, as you've talked about. Only 2 players on this team, have significant experience at Holy Cross.
Ledlam, tough drive. Was he tied up? Yes, he was. Jump ball. Good quick hands by Kenny, who had that layup just prior to the Harvard timeout. The jump ball will give it back to Holy Cross. So Crusaders defense and some timely offense keeping them alive here in the first half.
And the passing's been good for Holy Cross today. 3 assists on 5 made field goals. They assist on the season on less than 40% of their made field goals. That's the least in the Patriot League.
Kenny trying to muscle it in on Silverstein, and then Ledlam just hurdled Kenny for that rebound. Wojcik Feeds it inside. Ledlum powers his way up and in.
It's a display of his athleticism on both ends of the court, I'll tell you that much.
A display of dominance. He may be fortunate not to get called for going over the back on the previous rebound. Luke trying to shake Wojcik, picked up his dribble. Here's Kenny again on the drive. Can't shake Silverstein, but a good fadeaway. 6 early points for Caleb Kenny, already above his season average.
Yeah, and Kenny, a guy who's been in and out of the starting lineup this year for Brett Nelson, but he's been a contributor in both of the Crusaders' wins, had 11 points and 9 rebounds in both of the Holy Cross victories.
Now Ledlum tries a 3, airballs it. A little too much strength on that one. Luke quickly ahead, Montgomery the drive, finger roll, rolls out, and Ledlum snaps up another board. Hemmings wants it inside. They can't get it to him. Now Lesman feeds it in. Hemmings goes at Koulibaly, drops it off. Ledlum went for the slam, and it came off the iron. Silverstein out of the corner. Wojcik fakes the 3, gets around Gates. Back out Lesman, spot up triple, short. Silverstein, Lesman fakes, Ledlum looks to drive, wide open, Hemmings, and he missed the 2-hand bunny. 2 chances for Harvard to rock the rim, and they come up with a goose egg.
Hemmings looked a little uncomfortable as soon as he caught that ball, right? Didn't quite have it and then kind of misjudged his jump. But, man, if Ledlum had thrown that down, Sports Center would have seen that dunk for sure tonight.
We might have another chance here. Harvard with numbers. It's Silverstein to the rim, and he'll go to the line. Foul's going to go against Bo Montgomery. That's his second. So 2 Holy Cross players already with 2 fouls. This is not an especially deep Holy Cross group. Take a look at Silverstein. And again, I don't know, Justin, how much that goes to the rust factor in being off for 2 weeks, but you mentioned Harvard's missed more than a handful of opportunities at the rim already.
Yeah, and I guess you probably consider yourself fortunate shooting 26% from the field so far to be winning if you're Harvard, but the big difference is that you're +3 in turnovers and you've taken 7 more shots because of the turnover advantage and 8 offensive rebounds already.
Tommy Amaker is going to see if his starting group can kind of get things going again. Sakota, Trey2, Kirkwood, all back out on the floor. Catchings will return as well, replacing Silverstein after the free throws. Harvard's been playing sort of between a 4 and 6 point lead for the majority of this ball game. Luke looking for someone to give it to, now chooses to take it himself, spins it to the corner. They run Humphrey off the 3-point line. Martindale gliding in, can't finish. Kenny with another good rebound in traffic, and he is grabbed. That's going to go against Kirkwood. That's 2 early ones on him.
Kenny's done some good work so far. The 6 points you talked about, 3 rebounds. And Holy Cross has needed it because their 3 leading scorers, Luke, Gates, and Martindale, only have 3 points thus far. They score about 36 a game as a trio.
High screen for Humphrey, Martindale with it, 10 to shoot. Again, drives, goes to the offhand, can't score. Koulibaly offensive board, he was undercut. See who this goes to. Catchings picks up his first. That's the 4th team foul on Harvard.
Koulibaly, a big body down there. Has not played in 2 of the last 3 games after beginning the year as a starter for this Crusaders team. But he's made a little bit of an impact so far for sure.
Sophomore out of Ottawa. Same hometown as Noah Kirkwood. Deep 2 won't go. Kenny collects another miss. He's been all over the offensive glass. Dash to the rim for Luke, and he's fouled in traffic. That's Kirkwood, that's his 3rd. have to think Tommy Amaker is going to take him out of the game now.
You do not expect that from a senior and one of your leaders, if not the A1 leader for Harvard. And Kirkwood was initially in good position there, and then he just brought the left arm down. Really heady play, though, by a freshman in Luke going right at the guy with 2 fouls. You're either going to, A, draw his 3rd foul, or B, he's not going to want to play much defense.
Forces Kirkwood to the bench. 3 fouls on Harvard's senior leader. Catchings is going to go out as well, so Lesmond and Hemmings return. Luke knocks down the free throws. That allows Holy Cross to get back into the press. Trey 2 looking for help. Lesmond comes to get it. Ledlam wanted it inside. Kenny doing a good job closing off the post. Hemmings fakes. Koulibaly stays in front. Ledlam with 5 to shoot. Gets the screen. He's got to put it up. 2 seconds. 1. Did he get it away in time? Yes, he did, but the shot won't go. Almost didn't look like he recognized the shot clock there. A big stop for the Crusaders. Chance to make it a 1-possession game now. Kenny gives it back. Luke has the lane quickly closed off. Now Humphrey, pull up from the end line. Bounces out, kept alive. Kenny again. Luke for 3. Short. And Lesmond there for the miss.
Defensive rebounding has been a major issue, but it's on both sides.
Oh, Luke knocks it away. He's all alone and free and easy for the layup.
I was curious if he could dunk. He's 5'11". Came pretty close, but good hands again. And a big credit to Holy Cross getting right back in this game.
Looking for another stop here. There's another steal. Kenny, 1-on-2. He'll rise and miss the.
Catchings called the event an extremely valuable leadership experience and said it was an awesome opportunity to learn, grow, and mature on and off the court. He said that's why him and his teammates decided to come play for Coach Amaker and play for this Harvard program, and said it was just an absolutely fantastic experience. If you want to learn more about Chicago Cred and the work they're doing, check out their website at chicagocred.org and keep an eye on these Harvard Crimson players as they continue to make impacts on the court and in their community. Ben, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dylan and Justin. This is obviously nothing new that we've seen with this program, and especially something that we've seen with Tommy Amaker in his entire tenure with Harvard.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and it's not surprising. That was a good play by Ledlam, and then it actually hit back off him. So it'll stay with Holy Cross, but such a great initiative, such a great report there from Dylan, and yeah, I mean, you love to see that. Doing well and doing good. I love that from Tommy Amaker. As interestingly, as we get back to the court here, Tyler Simon, a very infrequently used first year, is on the court for the first time.
Koulibaly gives Holy Cross their first lead since early on. Using that big body to create the space inside. So the Crusaders, on the strength of their defense, continue to keep Harvard below 30% shooting. They've taken a lead. Ledlam. Is it going to be offensive or not? The entire Holy Cross bench petitioning for a push-off. The official who made the foul call says, take it easy there, fellas. It's going to be a hand check on Kenny instead, his first and the 6th team foul. So foul trouble for both sides. That's actually the 7th Holy Cross foul. So both teams now in the bonus for the final 6:25 of this first half.
And this feels like a stretch where Ledlam has to get really aggressive, right? Harvard's not playing very well at the moment. Harvard is not shooting all that well at the moment. Holy Cross has some momentum. So, you know, if you're an all Ivy League performer like Chris Ledlam is, this is your time where you take over, especially in a spot where you're one of only 2 starters on the court for Tommy Amaker's group at the moment.
Missed opportunity on the front end of the 1-and-1. Koulibaly inside. Muscling in. Ledlam hits the deck. Offensive foul. Took the first, stood tall. Took the second, hit the deck. And an offensive foul called on the sophomore Koulibaly. That is a veteran play from a guy, in theory, only in his 2nd year of college basketball.
Looked like Ledlam was kind of baiting him into that, right? He knew Koulibaly had one thing in mind, and that was backing him in towards the hoop. And he was set up very well by Chris Ledlam.
Wojcik with the look off, but can't get rid of the ball. Now floats it in. Ledlam the catch, right into the shot. Missed it, got the miss, spun it back up, missed the second time. Boy, 2 more great looks for Ledlam, just unable to convert.
He's just 2 for 9 from the field right now. He's missed a couple layups and a dunk.
Here's Luke. Driving lane opens up, but he spots up instead. The tip from Koulibaly, no. Third try, no. Rebound poked loose, and guess who's got it? Caleb Kenny. Luke attacks again, hangs, and hits off the backboard.
There is absolutely no fear in that kid. Clearly the smallest one on the court, and he attacks the rim with reckless abandon.
Crusaders right now on a 9-0 run. Trey to the drive, spins it up wild, and he'll go to the free throw line. See who they call that one on. It's on Martindale. That is his first. Already the 9th Holy Cross team foul, so the next one will put Harvard in the double bonus. Interesting, you pointed out start of the game, Justin, Harvard's ability to knock down the 3 from all 5 positions on the floor, seemingly. And yet they've only taken 6 in this first half. They have chosen to really go at Holy Cross, perhaps in an effort to get the Crusaders in foul trouble, but also maybe to try to get that offense going. Sometimes when you've had that long layoff, shots tougher to come by, easier to get layups, but the layups haven't fallen so far.
And it's hard to say based on a 5 for 22 shooting performance so far, but I actually think it's been the right decision. I think Harvard has missed some open shots, missed some shots right at the rim, but they've done a good job attacking, and the quality of shot the Crimson has gotten in this first half, I think, has been very high.
Holy Cross going big on the floor now with both Gates and Koulibaly out there. Humphrey looking to get rid of it. Gates comes to get it. 6 to shoot. Goes out Wojcik. Got away with a push-off. Out to Luke. 3 seconds, 2. Gets the shot away. Missed the jumper. And Wojcik comes down with a rebound.
It's going to be a flop warning here against Wojcik.
Official stoppage. No foul called, but just a warning. Montgomery is going to come back in for the Crusaders. Koulibaly gets a well-deserved breather. Official coming over to confirm with us. It was, in fact, a flop warning on Wojcik, who's saying, guy's twice my size. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, and I think it could have been a push-off, but I think Denham also sold it a little bit for sure. So I can see where he's upset, and I can see where the flop warning came from.
Cross corner pass. Catchings takes the feed and slams it home. Harvard missed its first 2 dunks. Catchings makes sure to stuff that one all the way through.
Yeah, it's a great drive by Silverstein and dribbling with his head up to find the pass.
Offensive foul called on Kenny. Catchings draws the charge underneath the hoop. That'll get us to a timeout. Harvard answering back off the Holy Cross run. Crimson back in front by 1 late first half here in Cambridge. Cale Catchings back in the starting lineup today and making his presence felt. First at the rim, and then on the defensive end, getting to the spot before Kenny could, draws the charge. I'm sure Tommy Amaker happy to have another veteran presence back in his starting group.
Yeah, and Catchings among the players who's missed some time, as you said, this year, but his injuries were much more minor, and he was only out a couple games, but he's a guy who plays much bigger than his size at 6'6", 220, shoots the 3 pretty well. He's made 9 of them this season. Had a couple of big games, obviously the great lineage, right? His grandfather played in the NBA. His aunt is the great Tamika Catchings, the Hall of Famer. And he's a guy who's going to be very important to Harvard's success when Ivy League play gets underway.
Well, certainly 10 games in, we have more of a track record now of what we feel like Harvard is going to be this year, along with the rest of the teams in the Ivy League. But Harvard especially seems to be an interesting case coming off of the lost season a year ago as Trey 2's three is blocked. He gets it back. Wojcik missed the floater off the side glass because of the amount of turnover that Tommy Amaker State, that was a huge senior class that he had going back 2 seasons ago, and really Kirkwood and Ledlam are the only big mainstays of that roster. Sakota Tradu played some, Ketchings played some, but certainly those guys all taking on much bigger roles this year.
Yeah, and it's an adjustment process for everybody, as you said, stepping into much larger roles. It was disappointing, of course, to not see what that senior class would have done. As Silverstein gets to the rim, I mean, imagine a team where you have Chris Ledlam and Noah Kirkwood, who might be the best 2 players in the Ivy League this year, as role players on that group, and that's kind of what they were, and they stepped up when there were some injuries to that group. But yeah, this is a very new group for Tommy Amaker, but talent-wise, I don't think there's anyone more talented in the Ancient Eight.
Certainly will remain to be seen. We'll find out not long into the new year. Again, Harvard opens Ivy League play with the first 3 at home. Ketchings a trail 3, knocks it down. Have gone scoreless for almost 3 minutes. Brief spurts for both teams here in the end stages of the first half. Here's Martindale floating it up. Doesn't get the bounce. Tipped away by Ledlam. Still loose. Silverstein pulls it off the floor. Trey 2. Ledlam had Luke on him for a second, was screaming for the ball. Gates gets back to him, floats and tips the pass away. Officials are going to discuss, did Ledlam get a fingertip on this? Yeah, he did. So the officials get together and they overturn the call, and Holy Cross gets the turnover. Martindale gives it back up to Humphrey. Luke uses the ball screen. Ketchings jumps out. Luke spins away, gets inside. Tough finish.
That was so impressive. Spun away from the double team and gets inside, gets up in the air very quickly. It's been a really good half for Luke. 9 of the 24 points for Holy Cross.
Ledlam lost his balance, traveled. Back-to-back turnovers by Harvard, and now it's Holy Cross looking to put together another run.
Back and forth we go. 16 combined turnovers for the 2 teams in this first half. It's been a weird first 19 or so minutes here. The teams have combined for more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds.
Yeah, usually when the stops are made, it's as a result of a turnover. Humphrey tackled to the ground by Trey 2. Did he get his hands on the ball with a bear hug, or is it going to be a foul? I believe they're going to call this a jump ball, and it's going to go Harvard's way. So that's turnover number 17. Sakota comes back in, replaces Wojcik. You see the tie-up.
Yeah, usually when you see the bear hug like that, you see a foul call, but the jump was the call, and I thought it could have been an offensive foul on the push-off against Wojcik, but he does have to be careful. Already has that flop warning. If you get another one of those, it's technical.
Ketchings, extra pass. Ledlam tries a 3. Short. Rebound tipped up and in. Oh, what great balance by Silverstein in midair. He's got 7 off the bench.
Yeah, I would not have marked down Silverstein as Harvard's leading scorer in this first half. You asked me before the game, but he's been great.
Gates caught up inside, just dragged the tiptoes along. Like he might have stepped on somebody, flexing out the leg afterwards.
Right, in these first 20, Ben, you have Silverstein, who averages less than 5 a game with 7, and on the other side, Kenny for Holy Cross averages less than 4 points a game, and he nearly has a double-double already, 7.7 rebounds.
He's been all over that offensive glass for Holy Cross. At a 4-second difference here between the shot clock and game clock, so Holy Cross should get another touch. Unless, of course, we get another offensive rebound. Certainly not out of the realm of possibility given what we've seen so far. Trey 2 wants to go one-on-one with Luke. He attacks, navigates around Koulibaly and hits the layup. Kenny gets it away from.
Extend this out to double digits right away. It's going to be an uphill climb for the team in purple.
Holy Cross will start with the ball here in the second half, trailing by 8. This is the biggest gap between the two so far off that Trey 2 layup just before the end of the first half. Back to the starting group for both sides. Bo Montgomery gives to Martindale, under 10 to shoot. Looks to take on Ledlam, gets in, kicks it out. Luke wide open 3, got it. First man in double figures today, Kyrell Luke with a dozen for Holy Cross.
Yeah, you said he was going to have the ball in his hands more, that time off the ball to get him the open look. And how about Kirkwood on the other end, who got severe foul trouble with 3 in that first half. No surprise, he comes out rocking to start the second.
Trying to get him in some rhythm early after that first half foul difficulty. Catchings tips the pass away from Gates out of bounds. It'll stay with Holy Cross. During the halftime break, our sideline man, Dylan Hornblum, had a chance to catch up with both coaching staffs. Dylan, what'd you find out?
Thanks, Ben. Yep, over here we were able to learn a few things. On the Holy Cross side, we got some positives. The positives were they really liked the fight and the energy that the Crusaders were playing with there in that first half. Where do they need to improve? Well, they need to guard the ball, and these Harvard guards, they want to see better rebounding and a little bit more pride in their one-on-one defense. They also need to make sure that on offense, they're doing a better job taking care of the basketball. For Harvard, I spoke to assistant coach Donnie Guarinoni, and he said that he really needs to see his team match the intensity of Holy Cross. He thinks that's where the Harvard squad was lacking in that first half. They need to pick it up. They also need, on defense, to do a better job of keeping the Crusaders out of the middle of the court. Force them to the sides, force them to take some tougher shots. On the offensive end for the Crimson, he was worried about how quickly Holy Cross seems to be collapsing on the Harvard players when they get the ball inside. Said our bigs need to do a good job of keeping their eyes open, finding the shooters around the perimeter, keep these Crusaders honest, make them go out and guard the longer shots, and that'll create easier looks on the inside for the Crimson. Back to you guys.
You know, I love hearing coach speak because I'm pretty sure both coaches said we need to be as intense and show as much pride as the other team showed in the first half, right? We both heard that, right?
Both teams looking to ratchet up the intensity. We got a foul on Martindale there in the mix. Kirkwood came up hobbled, relaced the sneaker, and missed the 3. Rebound tipped out, but Ledlam called going over the back of Montgomery. That'll be his second. By the way, that foul on Martindale, his third. So he's got 3 now for Holy Cross. Kirkwood playing with 3 for Harvard.
Yeah, fouls are going to become a problem for Holy Cross specifically. 5 players with at least 2 fouls already.
So you feel like it might be more of an issue for the Crusaders. Brett Nelson with a slightly less deep bench.
He only used 7 players in that first half.
Saw 10 different players on the floor for Tommy Amaker and Harvard. Kirkwood had the rebound slip through his hands back to Dejon Humphrey. A fresh 20 for Holy Cross. Here's Caleb Kenny, who had a good first half. Luke fakes the 3, steps inside, extra pass. Humphrey tries the 3, well short, into the hands of Ledlam. Trey 2 on the run out. Little odd dribble, kicks it back. Ledlam thought about the 3, drives instead, caught in midair, loose on the floor, out of bounds. Kenny picked it up right off the end line.
Good defense, though, by Kenny to stop the drive of Ledlam, who's a tough guy to get in front of. And Kenny did it without fouling.
7 points on 3 of 4 shooting in that first half for Kenny, a guy who only averaged about 4 points a game. Here's Sakota, gets past Kenny this time and lays it in. Sakota able to use his length to turn the corner there.
Yeah, beautiful move, and use the length, as you said, not only to turn the corner, but also to protect himself from the shot being blocked, right? He was able to get his defender on his back.
Here's Gates driving in, and he draws a blocking foul on Sakota. Tried to step in to draw another charge, but instead Sakota will be hit with that one, his second. Seen this a lot from Harvard. They are not afraid to take on charging opposition players.
And Sakota probably just not set when Gates went into the upward motion. I thought that was a good call for a block instead of a charge.
Mention a suspiciously quiet first half for Gates. 0 for 1 from the field, only 1 rebound, turned it over a couple times. Trying to force his way into this one more in the second half. Couple free throws should help that along. Harvard by 7, a couple minutes gone here in the second.
You know, earlier this year, Tommy Amaker said, you know, if Noah Kirkwood is not good, then we are not going to be good. I think you could say the same about Gates on the Holy Cross side.
Luke with a good job. That was actually Humphrey who came in from behind to snatch that entry pass away from Catchings. Humphrey rolls it in. Gates going to work again. Got his man down and laid it in. Catchings again, tried to draw the charge. The official said not this time. Harvard tried to get it in quick. Kenny tipped the pass out of bounds. A little bit of a warning again for the Holy Cross bench. They're up trying to get excited. Luke harassing Trey-2. Sakota comes to get it. Already down under 15 on the shot clock though. Sakota drives. Finds Ledlum. Trey-2, the extra pass. Wide open Catchings. Short on the 3, and Gates grabs the miss.
Harvard just one of its last 8 from behind the arc. This is a team that is usually excellent shooting the ball from three-point land.
Still trying to shake off that post-break rust. Gates won the battle, got the shot up, but it wouldn't fall against Ledlum. Sakota out to Catchings for the breakaway jam.
Second time that Catchings has been able to leak out in this game, and I like the Holy Cross dedication to getting Gates the ball in the post over and over again. And that one nearly went down. This time, good hands, and you just love the fearlessness.
Trey-2 with a deflection. They try to go quick and throw it ahead to him, but he lost his balance, and Kenny gets back to it. Humphrey tries a 3. That won't go, and Kirkwood will just let it go out of bounds. Now you mentioned this sort of the start of Brett Nelson, who's really into the game right now for Holy Cross. He's trying to get his defense amped up.
I don't know if he he looked like he had 3 cups of coffee in that last time out or something.
Looks like he's ready to toss off the warm-up and jump in there himself. So the former Florida Gator, you wonder how many times he's thrown the shorts on in practice to show his guys how it's done.
2 pretty good players as head coaches in this game, right? Tommy Amaker, of course. Great career at Duke.
Trey-2 double team. Inside it goes. Ledlum steps through a double team and has a chance for 3.
Good job to get Ledlum the ball in the post in a spot he could operate. And as you said, right between that double team, a little bit of a weak reach in by Martindale, who's going to have to go to the bench with 4 fouls. And now Ledlum a chance to give Harvard the first double-digit lead that either team has had in this game.
Martindale very frustrated over there on the Crusaders side. Again, he's one of the guys they rely on for offense. Another quality shooter out of the game. That's going to change things up a little bit for Holy Cross. Ledlum finishes the 3-point play to give Harvard its first double-digit lead. Crusaders have been really working hard to get it to Gates. Kenny with a kick out. Luke almost stepped out of bounds. Attacks instead and gets called for the push-off. That'll be his first as he discarded Trey-2.
Yeah, Trey-2, good job defensively. And either way, there was really nowhere for Luke to shoot that ball. Ledlum was right there, but that has to be 4 or 5 charges that Harvard's been able to take so far.
Yeah, you'd have to think this is really what Tommy Amaker loves to see out of his defense. He comes, as you mentioned, from that Duke pedigree, hard pressing, body-to-body defense.
Slap the floor
yeah, exactly.
over and over.
No, we've seen Harvard over the years switch things up and roll with his own, but you feel like it's not necessarily their preference.
especially with a small team, it can be incredibly difficult to rebound out of the zone.
Kirkwood with a tip in traffic. He's woken himself back up into this game with a renewed sense of purpose. Harvard up by a dozen now.
5 players between 7 and 9 points for the Crimson. Great balance.
Gates rips through against Catchings and draws the whistle.
That was awesome. Rip through move. Gates got himself plenty of room. And the only decision was let him make a layup or foul him. Sometimes, you know, it's the positioning that you get on the catch that makes the big difference, and that's what happened for Gates. He put one good move on. And now Brett Nelson going back to that big lineup with Gates and Koulibaly on the court.
High screen set for Luke, and then another. Back to Gates. Fakes the shot, fakes again. Kirkwood stripped him on the way up. Goes out of bounds. Off of Gates. As Kirkwood showing off those quick hands.
Yeah, Kirkwood, a guy who, as we talked about, is probably going to end up with a good case this year for Ivy League Player of the Year. I think he's going to end up with a great case for Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year.
He's an Ivy League first teamer 2 years ago as a sophomore. Luke almost stripped that one loose. Kirkwood rises, absorbs the contact, and finishes anyway. Kirkwood, first Harvard player in double figures. He's got 11 now. Harvard just methodically building this lead. Another 9-0 run for the Crimson, their second of the day. Humphrey chooses to attack, got caught up in the air, lays it in, and that draws the foul on Kirkwood. That's his 4th.
These guards for Holy Cross love to take it to the rim, and they don't care who's in there, how much contact they're going to take. And again, Kirkwood, just like his 3rd foul, where he was in good position and then at the last moment just brings the arms down. They're going to call that a foul every time.
Looked like he might have even gotten his hand on the ball, but he also knocked Humphrey down. As you said, that's going to draw the whistle every time. So just as Kirkwood is establishing some consistency on the offensive end, he's got to take a seat. And now Holy Cross switching things up defensively, going to his zone for the first time. Trey 2 plays the middle, finds Wojcik for a 3, in and out. Offensive rebound, Ledlum, muscled back up and in. That's potentially one of the weaknesses of the zone, and Ledlum exploited it there, then comes away with a steal, lobbed up ahead. Trey 2 takes it himself.
Dakota, Sakota, and Denham Wojcik. So there are a lot of guys who can make big shots and a lot of guys that Tommy Amaker can turn to in a big spot.
Now you've got Catchings back in the fold as well. He's a guy who could potentially have a big night at any time. There's so many different options. Makes the team tough to scout.
And we haven't seen much of him tonight, but Louis Lesmond has been a guy who can take over a game from behind the arc as well.
Tyrell Luke can't finish on the floater, but Koulibaly follows with a tip. 6 points now for Koulibaly, above his average. Harvard pushes, Ledlum misses the reverse, and Koulibaly rips it away.
I think other than Luke, Koulibaly's probably been the most impressive player, at least in the second half, for Holy Cross. I mean, Kenny's played well too, but Koulibaly's kind of had the impact we expected Gates to.
Here is Gates muscling his way through Silverstein for 2. All 6 of his points in the second half. Now with Holy Cross's best shooter off the floor again, you feel like they're going to probably have to kind of go inside to get back into this one. It's going to have to happen on the defensive end too. Crusaders back into the 2-3 zone here. Trey 2 loses his balance but keeps the dribble. 5 to shoot. Catchings. Trey 2 has to put it up. Floater to the rim. It was looking.
He's a Massachusetts native, and he says he cannot wait to assume his position as the leader of this Holy Cross Athletics Department starting in January. He's looking forward to strengthening the relationship between Holy Cross Athletics and the Worcester community at large. Very excited. Everybody at Holy Cross is really excited for him to take over this role because A, he is so enthusiastic to come in, and B, he really understands how critically important Holy Cross Athletics is to the Worcester community. So it'll be exciting to see what these Crusaders can do in the Patriot League with a new face at the helm of the program.
Thank you very much, Dylan. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Kid Hughes, as you said, taking over in January. And it was nice to have a Massachusetts native welcome back. You know, sort of someone who maybe, as you said, as Dylan said, certainly understands the relationship between the college and the community.
And a lot of fun things happening in Worcester as well as Ledlam gets the bucket. Obviously, Polar Park just opened in the spring, home of the Worcester Red Sox, formerly the Pawtucket Red Sox. So big chance to build something, and that football team at Holy Cross coming off another really good year. Champions in the Patriot League, won an NCAA tournament game, so it's a good program that Kid Hughes has taken over.
This basketball program hoping to be on the rise under Brett Nelson. Foul drawn by Kenny inside. As Catchings picks up his third there. Got the block the first time around, and then a good delay on the second chance. They looked at Holy Cross coming in, Justin, and you said, well, it's all about the big three, Luke, Gates, and Martindale. Gates goes scoreless in the first half. Martindale in foul trouble, just coming in after this second free throw. Luke has been as good as advertised, but it's been Kenny Koulibaly off the bench who've really chipped in and kept Holy Cross afloat in this one.
Yeah, the Crusaders have made a more concerted effort to get Gates involved in the game in the second half, but this is a gutsy move by Brett Nelson, bringing Martindale back in with 4 fouls, more than 10 minutes to go. Normally you see a coach wait longer, but you can protect him in the zone a little bit.
Ledlam with great body control off the lob.
And I guess no better time than now. You're down by 14 points, right? If you wait 5 more minutes, you might not have a chance at a comeback.
Right. Still has the 2 bigs on the floor with Gates and Koulibaly. Martindale can help space the floor a little bit. Gets it into the hands of Luke. He's got Ledlam in the switch. Attacks him, gets in the paint, whips it out. Humphrey open. Sticks the 3. Just the second 3-pointer today for Holy Cross. Both have been from Dejon Humphrey.
And it feels like Holy Cross has been able to make a big shot every time. It looks like Harvard might get some distance in terms of the lead in this second half.
Here's Lesmond out there. Sakota shoots over the zone. Can't answer the 3 on the other end. Luke in transition. Quick inside-out dribble. Takes a bump. Missed the floater. They didn't call the foul on Wojcik. Lob up ahead. Catchings inside. Kicks it out. Wojcik thought about it. Likes to pull it out and run the offense. Sakota to Catchings. Finds Ledlam all alone, and he missed the reverse. Got it back, and it still gets his 2.
Just wanted the rebound. That gave him the double-double.
Right.
Smart play. Smart play.
17 and 10 now for Ledlam, who keeps trying to etch his name back in the SC top 10.
I don't think Tommy Hammaker is going to be thrilled with the double pump reverse attempt in that spot. But, yeah, what a performance by Ledlam today. 17 and 10, as you said. Another double-double for him. Just having a tremendous, tremendous season.
And just flashed a smile towards some of the fans on our side of the floor. I think he knows what he was trying to do there. And he said, well, I got away with it because I still got the 2 points anyway. Wojcik loses his balance. Has to switch over onto Martindale. 6 to shoot. Martindale drives, hangs, and hits off the glass. Just too big for Wojcik to handle there.
Yeah, it's 6'7" against 6'2". A smart play by a three-point shooter who is still not taking a three-pointer in this game.
Holy Cross back within 11, hoping to get a stop here. Try to cut it back down to single digits. Holy Cross switching back into the man-to-man. Sakota finds Catchings. Deep 3 on the way, won't go. He knew it, went after it. And
you know, UMass, Babson, Northeastern, MIT, all on the schedule, as you said. And URI is as close to Massachusetts as you get as well. So plenty of trips that you don't have to go too far with. And the other part of it, Ben, is when you have this many in-state games where you just have to get on a bus or you don't have to go anywhere if you're the home team, well, that affords you the opportunity to go to Kansas on December 29th, an experience that, these guys are never going to forget.
Furthest trip this year for Harvard, just before the new year, out to Lawrence to take on the Jayhawks. Foul just before there was on Wojcik, his first, but the 16th foul. Gates squeezes it inside. Coulibaly blocked by Hemmings. And the ball out of bounds. Silverstein unable to save it. Hemmings holding his own in there against Coulibaly.
And he has the height advantage at 6'9". Well, they're both listed 6'9", but Hemmings certainly looks taller. Coulibaly, though, much stronger at the moment. Hemmings a first-year player who's a sophomore. But if he can be good for Harvard, that is going to be massive for this team, no doubt.
Luke trying to shake and bake, wants to go one-on-one at Lesman. The drive, Lesman stays tough with a block.
See how he just kept his hands straight up, didn't jump, didn't bring his hands down. Perfect defense from the Frenchman.
Both his parents, collegiate standouts, both played in France, where Louis Lesman was born. Martindale unable to reel in that inbounds pass. That is the 16th turnover by Holy Cross today. Kenny's going to come back in. Martindale's going to take a seat. Just been a tough day for a guy who hopes to be a big part of the future for Holy Cross.
And it's not that he hasn't shot the ball well. He just hasn't had the ability to take shots. Harvard's run him off the three-point line, and he got in foul trouble in the second half.
Sakota takes the long feed from Wojcik and will reset things. Lesman, couple quick crossovers. Silverstein. Sakota, down to 10 to shoot. He attacks. Tough fadeaway jumper won't go. Rebound loose. And they're going to call Silverstein for a foul, crashing into Coulibaly. And that'll put him at the free throw line. Holy Cross now in the bonus.
And remember all those foul problems Holy Cross had, not only individually, but getting into the bonus very quickly, allowing Harvard to take a lot of free throws in the first half. Only 14 fouls against Holy Cross so far in the second. And as you said, they will now be afforded the opportunity to shoot free throws on every common foul the rest of the way. Making free throws, gaining points with no time running off the clock, that's a way to get back into a game.
Coulibaly there you see already above his season averages today, 6 points and 8 rebounds. A violation on Sakota. Lost his balance, got into the lane a half step early. Kirkwood and Tretu come back in for Harvard. This game certainly still very much within striking distance for Holy Cross. Even though both teams have gone quiet over the last minute and a half, but Coulibaly can't convert at the line. Hemmings to the floor, throws it off the foot. Kenny comes up with it, and was the timeout gotten in first? No. Jump ball is going to be the call, and it will stay with Harvard. So a break there for the Crimson as Hemmings had it, but then gunned it off the foot of Lesman. Gave Kenny a chance to come up with it.
Yeah, good job to get up and get it. And Hemmings showing the effort getting on the floor. Holy Cross tried to get that timeout away, but not honored, and now we're having some sort of conversation over at the scorer's table.
Always tough because you feel like the officials are understandably focused on who's got possession of the basketball, and so maybe if the timeout call is coming exclusively from the bench, nobody hears it, nobody sees it. Harvard retains possession up by 11. Trying to snap a scoreless drought of over 2 minutes. Tretu takes the handoff. Hemmings sets up in the low post. Around it comes Kirkwood. Beautiful step back. Won't go though. Silverstein tips out of bounds. Back to Holy Cross. Kirkwood trying to get himself going again.
Certainly we've had plenty of lulls in scoring on both sides in this game. And both teams are going to be happy with their defense this afternoon. I mean, Harvard scores 77 a game. Holy Cross gives up 71. So for Harvard to only have 55 points at the moment is a big win for the Crusaders. And look, when somebody has under 50 with 5 3/4 minutes left, that is a tremendous defensive effort that Harvard's put together.
Kicked ball against Hemmings. That'll reset the shot clock to 20 seconds. Harvard allowed only 53 points in a win on the road at Albany earlier this year. They allowed 52 to MIT. Those are the best defensive outputs for the Crimson this year. Here's Gates. Missed the layup, lost it on the way up. Comes up hobbled as well. Trey 2 on the go. Hands it off. Silverstein kicks it out. Kirkwood open 3. Off the back iron. Tipped up and in. I don't know who got that one. Was it Hemmings or was it Lesmond?
I think it was Hemmings. And I'm not sure if he meant to do that or was just trying to get his hands on it. But big bucket.
Now they credit it to Lesmond. So for now, he gets the bucket. That's would have been the first career field goal for Hemmings.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was about to congratulate him and then I didn't give it to him.
Koulibaly can't convert with the left hand. Hemmings down with a miss. Harvard at this point, you almost feel like they might try to play the clock a little bit. Silverstein gets past Koulibaly all the way in, but doesn't get the roll.
Silverstein looked at the rim with shock.
Surprised it betrayed him. Luke's floater goes.
For college basketball.
Well, a lot of things changed since then, you know. Shot clock, three-point line. Some major changes in the game since the Kuzi Heinsohn era of Holy Cross basketball. It's still a very memorable era and one that obviously the school treasures greatly.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, there are not that many schools in the country that can say they won a national championship. That is for sure.
Kirkwood lost the dribble. Trey 2 late in the shot clock. Can't hit the 3. Another chance here for Holy Cross to get it down to single digits. Harvard's poor shooting has kind of allowed Holy Cross to just stay around in this one. Luke looked like he had a chance on another layup, but passed it up. Humphrey looking for a ball screen, gets it from Koulibaly. Martindale back out there with his 4 fouls. The up fake, leans in, missed the layup, missed the tip. Still loose, out of bounds, off of Kenny.
Yeah, and Holy Cross has played with great effort and determination in this game, but down 11 and the clock starting to become a factor, you're not going to be able to get back in it, only making 2s. And they've only taken 7 threes and only made 2 this afternoon. So I think that number is going to have to change in a positive way for the Crusaders if they want to make a late rally here.
Really starting to feel like this game will be decided off those 2 key Harvard runs. Kirkwood missed it, got it back. Silverstein going to try a 3. That won't go. Koulibaly comes away with it. A 9-0 response run in the first half to get the lead back late. And then that big run early in the second half to kind of get the lead into double digits. Luke throws it off Kirkwood. Humphrey from the corner, in and out on the 3. Koulibaly missed the tip, got it back, and he's fouled on the putback. So Koulibaly back to the free throw line. Foul will go against Trey 2. Only his first foul.
We talked about that odd trend at halftime where we had more combined offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds between the 2 teams. Right now it's even, 37-37. Harvard has 19 offensive rebounds in this game. That is more than 11 over the season average.
Koulibaly knocks down his first free throw. Both teams have been strong, looking for second chance opportunities. despite 37 offensive rebounds, only 32 second chance points. Sakota lowers the head, gets to the rim, missed the floater, and Ledlum goes crashing into Luke. That's not the guy you want to put at the free throw line.
No, and especially 92 feet away from the Holy Cross basket. You don't want to be committing fouls to let the Crusaders try and take some points off the lead.
Denim Wojcik returns, replaces Sakota. Seen really about 3-4 minutes elapse off the game clock here, and there just really hasn't been much of a change in the score. Both teams just have really gone cold. Harvard won for their last 10, Holy Cross won for their last 4. And they've turned it over a couple times on this end of the floor.
Yeah, it's a 5-0 Holy Cross run that's taken almost 3 minutes here.
Now Luke's going to add to it. It's the second, so another 1 of 2 trip of the line. Holy Cross had a chance to get it down close to a 2-possession game. Instead, it remains a 9-point Harvard lead. Trey 2 drives, kicks it back. Wojcik swings, Ledlum crosses, feeds it down low. Catchings back out to Kirkwood. Under 10 to shoot. Ledlum out to set the screen. Kirkwood looking for the shot, lost the handle, got it.
Maybe just a me guess theory, whatever it might be, but you know, Mike Krzyzewski forever has a rule that he won't play his assistants or his old assistants or his old players. He won't play against them. Now that he's retiring, I wonder if Tommy Amaker might try and take his team down to Cameron Indoor in the coming years.
Well, they've been down to Tobacco Road recently. A nice spin and finish by Kenny. Played North Carolina a couple years ago. They've played Stanford over in China. They've gone out west, taken on, I think, Cal. Kirkwood feeds Ledlum, doesn't get the jam, but Catchings there for the follow. That'll snap along. If you're Holy Cross here, don't necessarily know that it's time to start shooting threes, something they haven't done much of yet today. Luke stop and start, flips it up, doesn't get the bounce. Rebound, Trey 2. And that may have been the last gasp there for the Crusaders. Harvard will take it under a minute on this trip. Barring a big spurt here late, looks like they'll hold the team under 60 points for the 3rd time. Luke knocked it loose and then got a little extra greedy trying to come up with that steal. Picks up his 2nd foul. Feels like this one goes firmly in the column, perhaps, of an ugly win for Harvard today.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think it was ugly, but I don't think Tommy Amaker is going to have any issue with the effort of his team this afternoon. Sometimes you don't shoot the ball well when you don't play for 2 weeks. That's the way it is, and things will get more regular. You know, you play Howard on Tuesday and 8 more days before the Kansas game, but then you get back into your normal schedule. And that'll be a lot of pressure, to be honest, right? At the start of Ivy League play, you're happy to have 3 straight home games to start play in the Ancient Eight, but you know, you have to win your home games in Ivy League play. So it's a lot of pressure to get 3 wins right off the bat. And one of those is against the preseason favorite in Yale. So it's going to be a really exciting start, but a high-pressure start to Ivy League play for the Crimson.
And a couple of other really good programs in Princeton and Brown to start off that homestand. Humphrey with a quick banker. And Luke gives the quick foul. So it'll be Trey 2 to the line. Still a 1-and-1 situation. Yeah, this 7-point gap's close as Holy Cross has been really since the start of the second half. Harvard had that big run. I think it was 13-3. Opened up the double-digit lead, and then Holy Cross crawled their way back into striking distance, but just never got that consistent push that you need when you're trying to come from behind.
Yeah, Harvard did well to keep Holy Cross a little bit at arm's length, even though it wasn't the longest arm in the world. But just the inability to knock down threes for either team in this game has prevented Harvard from getting a bigger lead or Holy Cross from getting all the way back. It's difficult to do either of those things when you're doing it all in multiples of 2.
Teams a combined 5 force a turnover. Inbound to Kirkwood, trapped in the corner, puts it to the floor, triple team, finds Ledlum into the hands of Wojcik. Precious seconds ticking off. Martindale has the foul. That's going to be the day for him. We talked about him in the pregame in terms of being just yet another weapon in terms of the development. Again, you know what Ledlum's going to do. You kind of know what Kirkwood's going to do. Sakota has sort of established himself as a guy who can come up clutch this year. Catchings has obviously flashed the ability, but you add Trey 2 into that mix, and just he's another guy on the floor that the defense has to account for. Luke misses inside. He had a chance at a new career high.